Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt Shoup. Welcome to another episode of What's Up with Real Estate. I'm joined today by Nick and Meghan Chestnut. What's up, guys?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Not much. How are you?
You know, I'm good. I'm locked in my house, and you're locked in your new house.
Yeah.
How is the house? First of all, how is the house? How are you guys?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. We moved in a month and a half ago.
Yep, I think 3 weeks before quarantines really started happening.
Quarantine.
3 or 4 weeks.
Yep. And it's amazing. We were in an apartment before this, and we were actually just saying how much of a blessing it was just to get in when we did and be quarantined in a house rather than a little one-bedroom apartment.
Yep.
Yes, and on top of that, it's not like you don't have anything else cooking or going on right now, right? Like, so it's just, what else you got going on that's kind of a big deal, right?
We've got baby Nick and Meg Chestnut coming
in the oven.
any week now, really.
Yep.
So crazy times, right? Like the world just went upside down. People are going crazy. You're first time home buyers and homeowners, first child on the way. And we're sitting here, it's beginning part of April. This show's going to air a little bit down the road, but you and I didn't know each other 5 months ago. So,
yeah.
So I want to talk about that story, but this show, it's all about people getting questions answered about buying, selling, investing in real estate. And I've got clients, right? Anywhere from first-time home buyers or people that have never bought a home or know anything about real estate to like very seasoned investors. And at every point of that continuum, there's different questions. So this show's really for anybody that's watching that does not own a home or is thinking of buying a home. And I just wanted to get to know you guys a little bit more, get our audience to know you guys a little bit more, and just talk about the experience, right, of how we met and what some of your fears and thoughts were coming into this and what you know now that you would tell yourself back then, right, when we were having our first coffee.
Yep.
And then just anything that you'd like to share. So fill us in a little bit on just who you guys are, where you're from, what do you do?
So we both were born and raised in Greeley, Colorado. So we've been here for 24 years now. So we got married 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of jumped all over in terms of housing. We've lived with my family, we've lived with her family. So even getting the apartment was a big step up for us. And then we found out baby Chestnut was on the way and wanted to move into a house.
Baby Chestnut. I love it.
Baby Chestnut.
And you guys are, is it middle school or high school sweethearts?
Technically middle school.
We like to say middle school. It was the summer after 8th grade, so it's kind of in the...
We were 12 and 13 when we met.
Okay.
Together, so.
Okay, so we were talking, Nick, about, I'm losing mine. I just got rid of mine. We were having that conversation, right? And you guys said, oh, you should shave it. And so you knew him when he had more hair.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I knew him before he had any hair on his arms.
There you go. Awesome. That's super
true.
Cool. So Meghan, tell us a little bit about you and what you do and what you're up to these days.
So I nannied through college, was an online student, got my degree in Christian counseling. But really my biggest passion is children's books.
Yes.
The Lord has just given me such a vision for it and a passion for it. So right now I'm actually working on publishing my first children's book. It's called Bacon and Bunny. This is Bacon, the main character. It's actually based off of my childhood and my favorite stuffed bunny. And the goal behind it is really just to promote, I was homeschooled, so I have a big passion for like children's books that are going to promote education as well as weave in different like ethics and morals for kids. So that's really my biggest driving passion at the moment.
And when does the book come out? Do you have like a launch date? Is it just in kind of cooking phase and creation phase?
It's still cooking. I have like 2 illustrations left to finish, and then
almost there.
And then I'll be piecing it together. So it's hard to give a date right now.
No worries.
But I would say it's pretty easy to say it would definitely be done by the end of this year for sure. But yeah, that's just something that I'm really excited about, something that I've been working on for years. So
Awesome. I'm excited to see it. We were talking before we hit record about writing books and all of that space. So we'll make sure, we'll make sure to put a link down below, and when it comes out, we'll help get it out there to people. I think it's really cool what you guys are doing.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Nick, tell us what you do.
So I was a math major, so I am all about the numbers. So I'm a financial analyst right now at an ag company called Nutrien.
Awesome.
So yeah, what I do day to day is pretty boring to most people, but I sure find it fun.
Love it. Well, hey, so take us back. I remember our first meeting very, very vividly at that Starbucks in Greeley there on 43rd, and I didn't remember the name of the shopping center, right? I kept calling it the wrong shopping center.
Oh yeah.
we didn't know each other. Talk about how we got connected and how everything progressed from there.
Yeah. So, well, we actually got your name through our loan officer. He had given us a couple different numbers of agents, because we had told him, hey, we don't have a realtor. Anybody that you can recommend, we'll give a call. And so he gave us a couple numbers, and I had called that same week. I'd called a number of people and set up coffee meetings. But we knew right away, like after my conversation with you, I called Nick and I was like, this guy, he knows his stuff, and I just have a good feeling about him.
Well, and the part that stuck out to me was she said, in your guys' whole like 10-15 minute phone call, you never gave one comment of like, this is why you should choose me, or this is why I want to do it. It was all asking questions about her and like where we're at, and that was important. As first time home buyers, you got that instant connection of, okay, he really cares about us, and he's not just in it for the real estate part of the deal.
Well, and not only that, but even just the conversation, like the phone calls with the other realtors were just like, oh, okay, great. How about Thursday at 2, this coffee shop, we'll see you there. And it was like a 2-minute conversation. But the difference with you was that you automatically were like asking me questions and, asked, hey, do you have any questions right off the bat? This can be a daunting process. And you just made it like interpersonal right away. And that definitely, especially at like first time home buyers, and not having ever had any experience with any realtors or anything, we definitely knew we needed somebody that had our backs and that we could trust. And it was a really good first impression over the phone. So
well, thank you. I always love the feedback, right? Personally, and it's another big thing that I talk about as I'm talking to first time home buyers. It's there's a lot of agents out there, and they're not real estate professionals, right? They do the kind of the pitch and ditch, see it too, and here's my pitch and the hard close. And I really enjoyed you guys. Remember we said at coffee, I said, hey, if we can't enjoy having a coffee, right? And I think that's a great filter for a buyer looking to work with a realtor, or vice versa, because it's like it's a two-way street. We're going to go into like battle together, right, to go negotiate for a home. And this is a big thing. And I really enjoyed our coffee. I think we enjoyed our coffee, and then we get to work, right? So we've gotten up to the point of, okay, we're working together. What did you know going into this process as not, you're about to buy your home, you've never owned a home? What were some of your just impressions, or maybe preconceived notions? Or maybe what did you not know? Because sometimes that list is longer.
So much longer.
Yeah, our not know list was way longer. As much as we tried to, especially me, I'm such a big, if I don't know what I'm getting into, I try to do as much research as possible going in. And I think there was a big realization going in that, like, there's not enough that you can learn in a week. And that's where picking the right loan officer, picking a good realtor that you're comfortable with, was so important, because then you just realize that, I don't have to have all the answers because they have the answers. And that was a huge weight off my shoulders, at least.
Well, and I don't think we even knew that going into it. Like, I think we expected having to do a lot more than we did.
Yeah.
And through the process, we learned that between you and Chris, like, you guys had it. Like, you were like, you sent us the emails we needed to see, you gave us the phone calls with information we needed to know.
or even walking through like the first house we went into, like, okay, this is kind of what this process will look like, and this is what you should be looking for, and yada yada. Yeah, it was like, it was just so led, and we thought there was gonna be a lot more, like we had to have our A game going on and know it was, what the deal was.
Yeah, it was intimidating because we went into it like with the perception that we needed to know more than we did,
Yes.
and kind of felt ignorant and felt kind of in the dark about it. But the best part about the process with you and Chris was realizing, okay, we know absolutely nothing, and that's okay because these guys are going to teach
Nope.
us. So, yeah, I definitely would say we went into it knowing, really only having like a small list of things that we wanted in a house. That was about it. Just a small vision of certain aspects of a home that we wanted to look for, and that was it.
Yep.
Excellent. I love it. That's a lot of good points that you brought up, right, for the audience. And one of the things that we talked about is it's not. I always say this to first-time homebuyers: it's not up to you who really knows nothing. Most first-time homebuyers don't know anything, or everybody has the third uncle or family member that sometimes thinks they know everything and they don't. So you kind of have maybe misinformation or no information. And I see so many agents that aren't real estate professionals. They're just trying to close the deal, and they don't educate you. They're like, well, they didn't ask me, so I didn't tell them. It's like, well, they don't know anything. What are they like? What are they going to ask you? You didn't know what to ask. So
Right.
Yep.
I talk also about the power of having a great team, right? So Chris, let's talk about Chris Holcomb. Give him a shout out. Chris and I go way back. We've teamed up on a lot of business together. Talk just a little bit about him specifically and how he handled the finance part and how important it was. We're talking the real estate side, but just anything else on the finance side that was really impressive to you, or that you remember and recall.
I remember walking into his office the first time. He's going through, and he even said, this is going to be a ton of information. Don't expect you to keep this all in.
Yeah.
But man, the way he can walk through such a complicated process and really just hit like this is what you'd be looking like, bottom line here, and this is what you guys can afford. And he was very honest too about like, okay, here's what it says that you can qualify for.
Yeah.
But you got to find your comfort zone. And he wasn't pushing anything on us and making us really aware of our finances and what we're comfortable with. No, it was a really easy process with him for something that was very complicated. Made it very easy.
He simplified it so much for us and just walked us right through. I think something that like really stood out to me that he had said in our first meeting was he had talked about a recent client that he had helped purchase a house with only $1,000 down payment.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh my gosh, because there again, like we had no idea where we needed to be at with a down payment or what the budget looked like or anything. So as he was walking us through what our budget would look like, it was just neat to hear some of his previous experience and what he's done, what he's worked with. But he's just, he's an amazing man of faith. He totally made us feel comfortable and welcome. And we talked about family for half the meeting.
Yeah.
It was just really, again, just very interpersonal. And we knew right off the bat that we could trust him and have him lead. So
he's a great man, and he's got a great family. And
yeah, he does.
He and I share the love of mixed martial arts. We're both jiu-jitsu guys, and
Yeah.
have that commonality. I'm hearing you guys say though that with the team, right? So you have this team, the realtor, the real estate professional, the lender, the mortgage professional, and they're coming together, making you feel comfortable. There's an ultimate level of trust. They're not waiting for you to ask questions. They're telling you what you don't know, so that you know what you need to know to make the right decision. And they're making sure that financially you are comfortable. We have the same liking and awareness of who Dave Ramsey is and that system and that model. I love everybody to get on that page, read that book before they buy a home.
Absolutely.
We did that. You already spoke that language. So just because you can buy the Porsche doesn't mean you need to buy the Porsche, right? Just because you qualify for that payment. So, before we wrap up, and I want to talk about ultimately, looking back, if you feel like you made the best decision about your real estate ever, but I can't forget to talk about what went down with this deal, right? So we're looking around and we saw some good ones, some bad ones, some ugly ones. You know, there's some we're like, no way. And then we find this house, right? We find this house and you fall in love, and we write an offer, right? And it was a multiple offer situation. And for whatever reason, that offer doesn't get accepted, right? And you guys are heartbroken.
We were devastated.
Devastated.
Yeah. That was like back in November, I think, is when we first saw the house. We saw it the day that it was listed.
Yeah.
I think they actually came by and put the like for sale sign in the yard while we were here looking at it.
Yeah, I had to hang the guy's lockbox. Like, he didn't have the whole thing set up
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
And you dropped everything and went over there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And after walking through, at that point, like 15 or so houses, we knew a feeling that we were looking for, and you know, we definitely knew the house that you walk in and you're like, no, this is not it.
Yep.
And we walked in this one, and it was like, before we even did a full walkthrough, we looked at each other and it was like, this is it. This is the house. It, you know, we definitely believe that the Lord determines our steps, and we both just had this Holy Spirit peace. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yes.
We walked through, and it had everything we wanted plus some. And so immediately we wanted to put the offer down, and we did that night. And like you said, another offer was made. And we were so sure that we had it that night.
So sure.
I mean, we went home, and this guy like couldn't stop dancing around the apartment.
Oh yeah,
like,
I was just ecstatic.
So you're on this, we talk about, and a lot of people don't know this, right? And is this emotional roller coaster of up,
oh my gosh, yeah.
down,
Oh my gosh.
excitement, and then devastation. And
Yeah.
And I can't remember the parameters behind why it didn't go through, but they had their reason.
Yeah.
You guys are devastated. I'm devastated for you guys, because I mean, I get just as excited when you find the one, right? You know.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, 30% of contracts roughly, right? They fail, write a backup offer. We got into backup position. And then I stayed in touch with the listing agent, right? Like every couple of days, every week up to closing. And I can't remember the day it was supposed to close, but it was a Monday. And was it Super Bowl Sunday?
Yep. It was Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah.
What happened Super Bowl Sunday?
Or you know what?
I think it was one of the games leading up to it, because they were supposed to close like January 7th or something. So we had waited through all the holiday season.
Yes. Yeah.
And just really prayed about it. And there were times when we were like, yeah, we just need to give this to the Lord and surrender that house. I don't think we're going to get it. And then there were times when we felt so hopeful about it. So like you said, it was definitely that roller coaster, especially expecting our first, and, you know, wanting the home that we could bring our baby home to. And we saw more homes with you throughout that like month and a half there. Yeah, and nothing, you know, of course, in our minds, we compared it to this one, and nothing measured up. So they were supposed to close January 7th, and one of the football games was going on leading up.
Yeah, it's definitely a football game, because I'll never forget when you called.
Yeah. Yeah, and you called us 2 days before they were supposed to close.
And what happened was Gunnar, who's my teammate, we got to give Gunnar a big shout out. He's my right hand man. He's my licensed business manager. And Gunnar calls me and he goes, "Hey, did the listing agent call you?" And I said, "What?" Because I was thinking, I'm like, this thing's done tomorrow. Like this deal, because the backup's dead when the first position closes, and I'm like devastated. So he calls me, and I'm in my kitchen out here, like jumping up and down, made the call. And then what happens? You're down, you know, down here, all this house. It's not this house. We're here. We're looking at some other stuff, and it doesn't compare. And then we're under contract.
Oh, it was crazy. We got the phone call from you, and it was like we just looked at each other like,
we just could not believe
what just happened. I mean,
and one of the best parts is that, you know, a testament to you, like there was zero pressure on us to, like, we looked at so many houses at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it could have been easy to have like that pressure, like, oh my gosh, we just need to get into one.
Yeah.
But you were so lax about it, take your time, whatever. And that really helped because we were feeling a little pressure. We were starting to look at houses that were like, this isn't a love, but maybe our expectations aren't right. We just need to get into something.
Pressure that we'd put on ourselves. I
Yeah,
think that,
pressure we put on
knowing
ourselves.
that the baby was coming and knowing that, well, we're going to want a good couple months to take on a couple projects and paint a nursery and get settled before the baby comes.
So your willingness to be patient was
Yeah.
awesome because it led us to that phone call. The waiting really paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So first contract cancels, you guys are under contract, we go to closing, we close, you're in your home. We're gonna wrap up the show here, and just, is there anything else, because you guys have shared so many things about what a real estate professional should do for a first-time home buyer, what they shouldn't do, how a professional should put somebody in terms of just a level of comfort, the financial position, right? There's the business, the numbers, the dollars and cents, which, Nick, you loved that. And then there's the touchy-feely emotional part of that transaction that come together. But would there be anything else that you haven't shared already that you would let a first-time home buyer know? Now that we're in a way different economy, right? Like things have shifted almost overnight with this coronavirus. So with all of that being said, what else would you like to share with somebody right now that's watching this, that's thinking of buying a home, looking for a great professional? What would you tell them?
I'd say, one, you can do it. Don't think that you're in a circumstance that you can't. Definitely go down the road. And two, find somebody that you're comfortable with. Like, number one, like, it was big for me to find someone that I felt was really knowledgeable. And looking back, that's not as big of a piece because everyone's going to know more about that real estate and how it all works than you do. So finding somebody that you're comfortable with and that you can trust is huge. Like, it was such a weight off of our shoulders to just be like, we've got Matt and Chris, we're good.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I would say the same thing. Just make sure that you whoever you choose as loan officer, as realtor, you trust them. You're confident in their knowledge and abilities, and you're comfortable asking them anything, even if it seems stupid to you. It's important that you know them well enough and you're comfortable enough with them to ask them, and that they're not gonna think any less of you for not knowing anything about what you're going into. But yeah, I would say very, very strongly, just make sure you have that personal connection, and that trust for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been so cool. I feel like I've known you forever. We've known each other for 4 or 5 months.
I know, right?
Leading up to this, through this, after this. You guys have had a crazy couple of weeks, and I just, more than anything, I just appreciate your friendship, and that I've got a new set of friends and hopefully a new jiu-jitsu training partner.
Absolutely.
So,
right.
And thank you for providing all of this value for people that are watching this. I think they're going to be able to learn a lot from your experience, and thank you for taking the time. And we will make sure when that book comes out that we get it into the as many kiddos' hands as possible, because I love what you guys are doing. So till another episode of What's Up with Real Estate, I'm Matt here with Nick and Megan, and see you later.
Thanks, Matt.